Ready for some jaw-dropping moments? Today, we're diving into unbelievable disasters and close calls. From a plane skidding off a runway in a storm to a parking garage collapsing and a Texas car explosion. These stories are wild, surprising, and packed with action. Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let's jump into the madness. Up in the hills of Colombia, a big construction project was underway, the Ituango Dam. This dam was supposed to help manage the flow of the Calca River, but things took a turn for the worse. On April 28, 2018, a huge landslide blocked a crucial tunnel that was supposed to divert the river's flow. Since the dam was almost finished, they had already sealed off other tunnels. With nowhere for the river to go, water levels started rising fast, triggering even more landslides. By May 10, things got so bad that the workers had to flood part of the dam's engine room to relieve some pressure. But 2 days later, one of the remaining tunnels gave way, causing a massive flood downstream. The floodwaters rushed into villages, destroying homes, a school, and a healthcare center. Around 600 people had to leave their homes. The project was in big trouble, with experts warning that more landslides could still block the dam's tunnels. It was such a mess that the dam was soon called Colombia's Cursed Dam. Imagine a stormy Halloween in Barcelona, and you're on a ferry full of cars and people, hoping for a smooth dock. But Mother Nature had other plans. As the ferry tried to dock, the storm played a cruel trick, pushing the ferry off course. It collided with a giant loading crane, sending it crashing down in a spectacular display of chaos. To make things worse, the crane was loaded with 6 containers of highly flammable stuff. Think of it like fireworks waiting to explode. A fire started where the crane landed, sending thick, black smoke into the air. The firefighters had to battle the blaze for hours. Despite the trauma, everyone on the ferry was safe, and the damage was surprisingly minor. It was a Halloween to remember, but luckily, no one got hurt. Welcome to the wilds of Brazil's Amazonas state, where the jungle is so dense, you might think you're in a movie. Here, traveling is a mix of boats, planes, and if you're feeling brave, rickety trucks. One day, a truck driver had a particularly wild ride when the bridge he was crossing decided it had enough. The bridge gave way, leaving the truck hanging high above the ground like a circus act gone wrong. The driver and his crew had to channel their inner superheroes to climb out of the truck and find another way through the jungle. It's like a real-life adventure game where you have to get creative to get out of a sticky situation. A Lion Air flight from Jakarta is heading to Borneo, and everything's going well until the plane hits a monster rainstorm. As it tries to land, the plane decides to play a game of will I or won't I stay on the runway. The plane skids off the runway and lands in the grass like it's auditioning for a role in a disaster movie. The 182 passengers were probably gripping their seats, but thankfully no one got hurt. The incident added another chapter to Lion Air's history of turbulence, but everyone made it out safe and sound, ready to laugh about their muddy adventure. In Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, a parking garage was about to experience a serious mishap. Abdullah Abu Habla, an engineer, was walking down the stairs in the garage when suddenly he felt a strong gust of air. He had a hunch something bad was coming, so he quickly moved up the stairs. Just in time, the whole parking garage began to collapse around him. Abdullah's quick thinking kept him safe, but the garage was now a heap of rubble. Cars parked in the garage, including Abdullah's, were severely damaged. What caused the collapse? That's still a mystery. There were no clear answers, but Abdullah's lucky escape made for an amazing story of survival. In Russia, a group of bored teenagers decided to mess around with something they definitely shouldn't have. They found an old abandoned building with a giant support tower holding up the roof, and for some reason, they thought it would be fun to throw bricks at it. One by one, they hurled bricks at the tower, thinking nothing serious will happen. But after a few hits, crack! The support tower weakens, and before they realize what's happening, The entire roof comes crashing down with a massive rumble. Thankfully, no one gets caught under the falling debris. But the building? It's now nothing more than a pile of rubble. What started as a bad idea turned into a total disaster in just a few seconds. The USS Carl Vinson, a massive US Navy aircraft carrier, is cruising around the Hawaiian Islands for a drill. The ship has been in service since 1983 and is named after Senator Carl Vinson. On April 10, 2023, a seasoned pilot is taking off in a Grumman A6 Intruder. Everything seems normal until suddenly the plane starts having serious problems. Despite the pilot's best efforts, the plane isn't responding properly. As the plane reaches the end of the carrier's flight deck, it becomes clear that something's gone terribly wrong. The pilot and his navigator are forced to eject from the plane just before it crashes into the ocean. Miraculously, they survive the ejection, though the pilot ends up with some spinal issues and jokes that he's an inch shorter as a result. The whole incident is a reminder of the dangers of flying, even for experienced pilots, and the bravery required in such high-stakes situations. In Hurst, Texas, a traumatic incident took place on April 7, 2018. A driver named Arnolfo Castro crashed his car into a house in a densely populated area. But this wasn't just any crash. Arnolfo had accidentally severed the house's gas line. As emergency responders arrived, the house exploded in a huge fireball. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt, but the explosion caused a lot of damage. Police body cameras captured the moment of the blast, and the footage shows just how close the officers came to disaster. One officer, Travis Heiser, was incredibly lucky to walk away from the explosion unharmed. The family whose house was damaged started a GoFundMe to help with the repairs, showing that even in a crisis, people come together to support each other. In Duisburg, Germany, there's this massive old smokestack, 300 feet tall and towering over an abandoned factory. It's been standing there for ages, but now it's time for it to come down. A demolition team is ready with explosives carefully placed around the base of the smokestack. The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1. Boom! The explosives go off, and everyone expects the smokestack to crumble straight to the ground. But nope, the giant smokestack starts to lean, and leans the wrong way. Instead of falling in the planned direction, it tilts over and crashes right onto the foreman's car parked nearby. The car gets completely crushed under tons of rubble, leaving the foreman to stare in disbelief at what used to be his ride. Luckily, no one is hurt, but the car, well, let's just say it won't be driving anywhere ever again. If you love the chaos and excitement, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more crazy content. Turn on notifications so you never miss out on our next adventure. Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know which story blew your mind. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.